All right. Brian? All right, so we're, Trevor, your hand was up first. What do you want?
Number 1.
Okay, so we're going to work on number 8 first.
Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, but it's out of 100, so it's like we're out of 110.
Good.
What? Yeah.
All right. We're doing 8. Yes, top divided by bottom. Number 8. All right, I suggest that as we do this, that you write start a little review sheet that you can look at, because there's going to be lots of formulas here that you're going to need to remember. So on number 8, I hope the person that asked for this would be quiet enough to listen. All right. They have by the way, you're going to be doing this on your next project, because you each have a circle, landscape circle. My picture's not drawn to scale, but on number 8, they said that each one of these regions are equal. All right? Each one is equal. So my picture's not perfect. And then this circular garden is enclosed by grass on all the sides. So I need to know, they're asking you, they're putting stone in this region. So if they're going to put stone in this region, what is the angle measure? What is this angle measure? 360 divided by 5 is 72 degrees. How do we find the area of a sector? What's the formula we need? A equals all right. So this is one of those formulas that you want to put on the study guide that you want to study. I can't tell you how many of these problems there were that involved this formula. So what must be true about our angle? Well, to use this formula, what do you need? Theta in what form? Radians. Okay, remember that must be in radian measure, and is that radians? So you all were awesome on changing degrees to radians. Do you remember how to do that? How do we do it?
72 times 5.
Okay, so this is radians on top, 180 degrees on the bottom, and we do the reverse if it were the other way around. This is a conversion you need to know. So this is going to end up to be 72 pi over 180 radians, and that happens to reduce to 2 pi over 5. So where does 2 pi over 5 go in my formula? Is it theta or is it r? So we put 2 pi over 5 here. Next question. I need my radius. They told us that the length of this square is 8. What's the diameter of this circle?
8.
Question. Do you see the diameter? Is it the same length as the square? So if the diameter is 8, then what is my radius? So my radius is going to be 4. This 2 simplifies with this 2. It gives you a factor of 1. And what's 4 times 4? 16. So the exact answer is 16 pi over 5, but you need to multiply by 3.14 and divide by 5, and you're going to get 10.05. Now listen to what it said. It said he can only order stone or sand in whole numbers of square feet. So he can't order 10.05. He either has to order 10 or 11. What should he order? Okay, if he orders 10, will he be short? Yes. So therefore, this is not typical rounding rules. This is real world rounding rules. For example, if you need 1.5 gallons of paint to paint your room, all right, you can't buy half a gallon. Are you going to buy 1 gallon or 2? Because if you buy 1, what's going to happen? You're going to run out, just like the stone situation. So he needs 11 feet of each type of stone and sand that he hopes to buy.
That would be 11 feet square. Yeah.
So it'd be, yes, thank you. It's 11 square feet. All right, next question.
Second.
Okay, Trevor raised his hand. 9. Okay, so let's look at 9. This is one we didn't do first period. So here we've got this circle. We've got this radius and we've got this radius. I'm writing it a little bit bigger so that I can fit 28 degrees in here. And then this is 4 centimeters. What are they asking us for? What is the arc length? All right. If you don't read the question and you see this shaded, what do you think you're supposed to do?
Is it in a circle, so arc equals length?
Find the area.
Okay, just because this is shaded doesn't mean you're going to do area. In fact, it says what is the length of the arc?
It's 28 degrees.
Length
Oh.
of arc. That would be the arc of this. Now, okay, let's talk about that. There's a difference between arc measure, that's a C. There's a difference between arc measure, which is done in degrees, and arc length. So let's say you wanted to put landscape blocks, like landscape bricks from here to here. Do you go to the store and tell them I need 28 degrees of landscape bricks? No, that's arc measure. So your arc length is going to be feet, centimeters, inches, etc. They literally want to know a linear measurement. What is the arc length formula? L equals theta R. All right, if you're making a study guide, you need to know this formula. So for this formula, I need 2 things. If I want arc length, I need theta, and again, this is in radians, and I need a radius. Do I have either one of those? What do I have?
Both.
I have a radius of 4. Why can't I use 28 as is? It's not in radian measure. So here we go, 28 degrees. What are we going to do? Pi over 180. That's going to be 28 pi over 180. 4 goes into 28.7, and 180, I think, 45. So, hold on. I guess, yeah. So 1/5?
Yeah, because 7 goes into 45.
No, it's 9. So now that's 7 pi over 45. This is 4 over 1. So that's going to be 28 pi over 48. I think that reduces too. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 45. Run. Don't ask me again. Okay, so this is 45, so there we go. Right there, I reduced that fraction. Now, if they, so you would have to look at your multiple choice answers to see, do you need decimals? Do you need the the perfect, that's the exact answer. All right, Ethan, you had your hand up.
Number 8.
Number 8? You did 8.
I'm in 7.
Number 7. I don't know. I didn't do it. I just left it that way. You have to use your calculator. The exact answer is 7 pi over 45. The approximate answer is multiplying by pi and dividing by 45. All right, 7 has been requested. So here's 7. On 7, we have Sir Goodnight and Sir Bad Night. I guess it's really good and dark. Bless you. Okay. So here's the princess. The princess is in the center. Before school, we haven't done this in the class. Question, do you see this? What is this supposed to be?
The castle.
No, it's the ring
Fire.
of fire. And I don't think I've done enough video games. It took me a while to read this to understand what was going on. So we've got a tangent here. And this happens to be Dark Knight. So there's Princess. The Dark Knight is standing, well, right on the edge. Maybe he's getting singed. That is Dark Knight.
No, the dragon's about to hurl at.
I didn't know there was a dragon here.
You could just add that.
Yeah, where's the fire?
Why? Just put it
Dark Knight did the fire, or maybe Good Knight did the fire to protect Dark Knight. I mean, to protect him.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Yeah, I think Good Knight started the fire. All right. Now listen. Listen to what it says. It says the Dark Knight here is 52 feet from Good Knight. So where's 52? Right here between those two dots, correct? All right. Then it says that Sir Goodnight is 20 feet from the ring of fire. So if I connect this,
From the ring of fire.
right, so that means from here to here is what? 20. All right? Because as my next question is, what is this with relation to the circle and this? They're congruent because they're both what? Radii. So if I let this be x, then this also green segment must be x. The county chose the harder questions to put on the review. They didn't put the easy ones on the review. So I want you to be aware, a third of your review is circles, and the other 2/3 are other stuff. They didn't give you any transformations. Transformations will be on the exam, but they figured that was easy. So they didn't, don't ask me. They weren't even going to give us this. So I was going to prepare you for an exam that I had no idea what was on. Now, what I did post online, there's something called, I think, summary. Those are the exam test objectives. I put that, I think, maybe in notes. But anyway, my question to you is, what is the distance from the princess to the Good Knight if this part is x and that part is 20? Is it 20x or 20 plus x? It's 20 plus x, or x plus 20. What? No, we're not even quite there yet. I want you now to focus on the. We're trying to find the distance from princess to the Good Knight. What is this relationship right here?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. What that makes. So what are you going to use? Pythagorean theorem. We're going to say legs squared plus legs squared is equal to the hypotenuse, which is x plus 20 squared. Now this is going to require, this is 2704. This is going to require some algebra that you haven't used in a while. This squared means x plus 20 times x plus 20. If you don't write this out and you try to square it from there, you will get it wrong. That means that you have to write the assignment on the calendar each day. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Trevor is. All right, here we go. You ready? I know you've heard this. Everybody else has it. To multiply this, you're going to distribute this first x to everybody in the second parenthesis. So this is going to be x squared plus 20x. Then what are you going to do? That 20 is also going to get distributed all the way through. So that's going to be 20x plus 400. That's FOIL. You might have learned it as FOIL. If you were Carnegie, I'm not sure they taught it as FOIL. Right, extended distributed property, which, to be honest, is a better way to teach it because then you're not stuck to two binomials. To two binomials. You could do a 2-term time a 3-term or a 4-term, which you will be doing in Algebra 2 next year. They gave you 2 of these problems. I would bet that there's one of these on the exam. Plus 400. Here we go. So what I did is I combined the like terms. How do we disconnect this x squared? How do we move it? Subtract it because it's being? This is the beauty. What happens to the x squareds? So you got 2704 is equal to 40x plus 400. Now how do we start to solve for? So you get 2304 is equal to 40x, then what? All right, I can't emphasize enough that don't assume x is the answer. All right? The question said, what is the distance from the princess all the way to Mr. Goodnight? So x happens to be 57.6, but that takes us to the Ring of Fire. What's the distance? So what you need to do is take your 57.6 plus 20, and you're going to get 77.6. I'm telling you now, this will be one of the multiple choice answers. That exact number, because they're going to see whether or not you bothered to read the question. And this is a situation where you think you aced the test, and because you didn't read the question, you didn't give them the answer, and you missed more than you thought. They're not going to give you this exact same question. But let's now go, while we're here, let's go to question 2. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, so we're going to go to number 10. Number 2 is online under period 1. But just FYI, it's the exact same thing, but just different. Circle. All right, what am I doing, 10? Right, see that x? From here to here is 56.7, but to get the whole distance, you had to add 20. Okay, so now this is number 10. Okay, so we've got this diameter, and we've got this. Well, you know what? I didn't draw my diagram scale. They told you the diameter is 10. What does that make this segment? And what does that make this segment? And this segment? Just all right. Now this is shaded. Don't assume that they're asking for area. They could be asking for arc length. What is the degree measure of this right here? 90 degrees. All right. It says find the area. What is your area formula? Okay, you should have had that on your study guide if you're paying attention this morning. Can I use 90 as it is? No. 90 degrees times what? Pi over 180 is going to be 90 pi over 180, which is the same thing as pi over 2. Where does that go in my formula? Where the theta is. Do we know our r? It is 5. So we're going to have pi over 4 times 25, or 25 pi over 4. What? Bless you. 1 times pi, 2 times 2. Yes. Okay? So now, depending on the multiple choice answers, if they don't have pi in them, what do you have to do? You're going to have to multiply by pi, divide by 4 possibly. All right, next question. Number 6. All right, number 6 is kind of like your test yesterday. Anybody that missed the test yesterday needs to come tomorrow after school. There are no answers on it. The county didn't give us answers. I had to find the answers. As usual. We are doing number 6. All right. So what do we have? They told us that this is a diameter that's perpendicular to a chord. What happened to this chord? Bisected. What happened to this arc? Bisected. It says this chord is 8. What is this part? What is this part? Because what does when a chord is perpendicular to a radius, what does it do? This is 6. Yeah, it is. JK. Okay. So in the event you ask for 6. All right. 6. There's a diameter. Now that's pretty perpendicular. There's our perpendicular chord. All right, so what did they say? They said AB, that's A, this is B, AB is 7, and they told us that BD from here to here is 24. From B to D is 24. What is the approximate area of a semicircle? Area equals what? 1/2 theta r squared. What's the degree measure of a semicircle?
180.
Semicircle is 180, so how do we change this?
Over 180.
Pi over. So what is my radian measure?
Pi.
So I have 1/2 pi. What don't I know?
Wait, that is confusing.
What do you mean?
Where's the semicircle?
Well, it's either this one or it's this one. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay. I was looking at it from the left.
Okay.
Right.
So we need I need my radius, correct? So let me draw in a radius. Is this a good place to put my radius? Okay, this radius can rotate about the circle. Is this a good place? Is this a good place? Is this a good place? Tell me when to stop.
Keep going. Right there.
Stop.
No.
Ah, go back. Go back.
What do you want to form?
There. Triangle on ABC.
Triangle.
Lucas, what are you doing? Go back.
Triangles are very helpful. So now this is perpendicular. Set it up.
X squared equals 7 squared plus 24.
Okay, so what's 7 squared?
49.
What's 24 squared? 576. So we've got x squared equals 625. Now what do we do?
Square root.
And how many answers do we get?
2.
Plus or minus, and which one do we choose? The positive, and that is 25. So what do I do to my 25? And square it. So this is going to be pi over 2 times 625, or 625 pi over 2. That is the area of a semicircle. Next question. Yes. Okay, Trevor had his hand up first. Shh. We are doing number 11, right? You only had to go to 13. No, I'm collecting it today. All right. Shh. You ready? Quiet. Shh. This is a building, and on the corner of the building is a rope. They told us this rope is 12 feet long. All right, there's a goat. Yep. There's a goat attached to this rope. The question is, where can the goat roam? Can it roam here, 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 here? Now what's going to happen? He hits the building. So now we're going to come around here. Can he still roam? Can he still roam? And now what's going to happen when we get to here? Up, he hits the building. So how many, if this is, what is this measure right here? 90. How many degrees is available for this goat? 360 minus 90 is 270 degrees. They want the area. This is at least the third area problem we've done. Do you need to know this formula?
Yes.
All right, so this needs to be in radian measure. How do we do that? Over 180, because that's the way I taught it, because they want you to be able to work with arc length and area of a sector in radian measure per the standard of the Common Core Florida standards. There's another way to do it, if you want to read. Right. Okay. So this is going to be 3 pi over 2. Where does that go in my formula? So that's going to be 3 pi over 2. Now, what is my radius? 12, and that gets squared. So this is going to be 3 pi over 4, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. What? Because 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so rather than get this long and short of it, this is going to be 108 pi. If you needed this in decimal form, that's 339.12 feet squared. I don't know. Again, it's a multiple choice test. Now, the county wrote this test, and my guess is the county probably used the test generator from the book, which the county told us not to use because they didn't want us to use the book at all this year. So that will tell you how accurate it is for the EOC. Yes, sir. Number 5. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that.
You've been out here. You went to 6. Now
Okay.
you're at 5.
So let's go back to 5 that we started because I didn't know what I was doing. Shh. They told us this diameter is 10. If the diameter is 10, then what's the distance from here to here? What's this distance? 5. What is this distance? Why? It's a radius. What is this distance? 5. All right. What do you see forming here that you probably are going to need to use? Pythagorean theorem. We're going to let this be x. Now, this is what they want. But we can't get that until we find x. So what does it look like? 4 squared plus. So this is 16. They told us the diameter is 10. So what is it from here to here? Every radius. Recognize the radii in your circle. So this is 25. Subtract 16, you get 9. What is, if we square root, how many answers do we get?
2.
Plus or? I bet forgetting this plus or minus intermediate algebra on the last test cost people about 15 points. That's a dual enrollment. It's a college. It's a SPC course. The next after that is college algebra because it's in between college algebra and remedial algebra. Now, this is 3. How do we get this piece right here now?
5 minus.
The radius of 5 minus 3 gives us 2. All right, next question. All right, Stephanie.
4.
Oh, we didn't even do this first period. We need to do this one. This is 3. All right. Ready? Shh. Nate, you ready? This is 3. All right. This is Joe. I just asked you to pay attention.
I know. Maria.
All right. This is Cameron. Wait a minute. They told us that there were 400 total votes. That is important. They told us Joseph got 160. So what did Cameron get? How do you figure that out? No, it's going to be 240. Now, what we need is we need percentages. I need the percent of votes that Joseph got, and I need the percents of votes that Cameron got. In real life, if you were asked to do a pie chart, you need these percents in order to get an accurate pie chart. You take the part, which is 160, and divide by total. No, we're going to start with yes, no, and this is going to be 40%. Does someone do that division and double check? What's 160 divided by 400? 0.4?
It's 144, Miss Bryan.
Okay. This is 0.4 or 40%. What is 240 divided by 400? 0.6 or 60%. Now, how many degrees are in a circle? So, for Joseph, he's taking up 40% or 0.40. And we're going to multiply that by 360 degrees to see how many degrees he gets. And that's going to be 144 degrees. To get Cameron, and my guess is you have to set up a pie chart on your EOS, on this midterm. Cameron is going to be 0.6 times our 360 degrees. And this is going to be 216 degrees. This would be considered a real-world problem.
Why are you doing it by 360?
Because you have to know what is 40% of 360 degrees. That's Joseph's part of the
I
circle.
thought you had to divide it by 400.
We did to get the percent.
So why are you doing that?
Because the circle is 360. So Joseph occupies 40% of the circle. Cameron occupies 60%. So what's 40% of 360 degrees? 144. All right. Lizzie had her hand up. Well, I called on, yeah. Lizzie? We're doing 13.
Wait, Miss Bryan. When did we learn
We learned how many degrees were in a circle. That's about it. So that's something to study. That's why we're doing the exam review. We're doing, what did you say? 13. All right, now when we get to 13, I thought that this might be a whole lot easier for you all. They told us that AEC is 8x plus 10. They told you that CED is 3x plus 5. What can you tell me about this right here? They're not vertical. Did they tell you bisector? No. They form a line, meaning they are a linear pair, meaning they are,
Supplement. Oh, I did.
remember, if we trace the sides, they form a Y. So that means 8x plus 10 equals 3x, no, plus 3x plus 5 equals 180.
That's easy.
11x, I didn't write the exam, Nate.
I know, but you have your own questions, right?
No.
I have the review questions, just like you do. I had to do the answers. They didn't give us an answer key.
Don't you have, don't you make up some of your own questions?
The county wrote the exam you will be taking. I have no idea what they put on it.
So you don't even know what Miss Gunn, has the
No.
exam, and then half of them
Yeah.
No,
this
no.
was
Miss Gunn has her own, like,
This is the issue. Especially first period has an hour and 45 minutes to take this exam. I think it's going to take them an hour and 45 minutes to do 30 questions. If I add questions to this exam, how in the world are you going to finish it?
So there's 30 questions.
Uh-huh.
How many questions of this?
But this is going to take a while. No, it doesn't. You still have an A. 87.
you could get 3 buckets.
Shh. Quiet. All right. Shh. I need you quiet. You're wasting your time. And now, if you get x equals 15, I guarantee you that this will be an answer. But that's not what they asked for. They asked for the measure of BED. This is BED. So what do you substitute 15 for? This one or this one? 8 times 15 plus 10 is equal to 130.
My turn.
All right?
Number
Mhm.
12.
Number 12, we're back to circles. Again, 1/3 of your exam is circles. 1/3 of your exam is circles.
What?
We finished circles. All right. Shh. You ready? Listen carefully because the same issue before is going to come up again. It says the measure, the length of this arc is 4 pi centimeters. This is 60 degrees. The measure of this arc is 60. The length of the arc is 4 pi. They want the area again. What's the area of that sector? Theta r squared. How do I turn 60 into a useful theta?
Divided by 180.
60 degrees times pi over 180 degrees. It simplifies to pi over 3. So I have 1/2 times pi over 3. What do we need now? Okay, did they tell us the radius? That's degrees. It's not a radius. They did not, but they gave you this for a reason. They gave you the length of this arc. What is arc length formula? L equals theta r, not r squared. So you need to make sure this is in your study guide. You need to remember that this is radians. We still have time.
Yeah, chill.
So, no, we've got about 4 more minutes. What is the arc length?
4 pi.
4 pi. What was our theta that we found?
Pi over 3.
Pi over 3. Yes, we have to use this formula to find r.
Okay, next.
So now how do we disconnect this?
Multiply.
By the reciprocal. So that pi is going to be gone. Those 3's are going to be gone. So r is equal to, the pi's divide out, 12. Where do I put that 12 now?
In the r squared.
Up here. So we're going to have pi over 6 times 144. And when you're finished with this on 12, this is going to be 24 pi. Ethan.
How did you get
Okay, we got pi over 3 because we took our 60 degrees over 180, and 60 divides 180 3 times. We changed it into radians. Other questions? All right, listen carefully. I need this review passed to the center. If you are working, listen, if you are working on the review itself, you're going to have to disconnect the pages I need, and you're going to have to go online for the 2 questions that you're turning in now. Because I think 14 and 15 is on the same page as 13. Yes, so I need it passed forward.